Hey, what's up, guys? It is Dave Beaver, Pastor Dave Beaver to some of you, and welcome to another live show here, Grappling with Life. Listen, if you've never watched this show, you catch it live, you catch it later. Here is the big idea. The big idea is no matter who you are, every human being tonight is grappling with life, right? If you're not dead, you're not done, you're going through something. You're grappling with real life, whether it's education, career, relationships, finances, blah, blah, blah. What I like to do is use this show, bring on martial artists, grappling artists, fighters, and what we learn on the mat, how we apply that to real life, grappling on and off the mat of real life. So I hope that these stories will bring inspiration to you tonight, encouragement to you tonight. Whether you train, maybe you start training, or you keep training. That's the whole idea with grappling with life. So, without further ado, it is my absolute joy to bring on a super cool guest. His name is Andy Anderson. He lives over in this state called Pennsylvania. He is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and he is the founder of Stout Fighting. And we're going to talk with him tonight. So, Andy, what's up, man? How are you?
So, yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm excited to be on. I'm excited to compete on your show on October 22nd. It's my first super fight in a while, so I'm really looking forward to it. I like the rule set, doing ADCC rules.
Yeah.
I really prefer ADCC rule set coming from a wrestling background. Basically I grew up in born in Michigan, grew up mostly in Western New York, wrestled growing up in middle school, high school, 2 years in junior college. Then I transferred to a school in the Ohio Valley, right outside, right over the West Virginia, Ohio border. And they were supposed to start a wrestling program. It fell through due to some bureaucratic stuff. And I stuck around, played rugby for a year, and then decided rugby wasn't really my thing. It wasn't the same as wrestling. And a friend told me, like, you should get into MMA. You're good at it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll try it out. And I started working towards that, and found jiu-jitsu, and been training jiu-jitsu for the last 10 years now.
Yeah. 10 years in jiu-jitsu. What was life like growing up, man? Do you have any brothers, any sisters, man?
Yeah.
I know you wrestled. Did you play any other sports growing up?
Yeah. So I'm the oldest of seven. So I have a crazy house growing up. I wrestled. I was born with cerebral palsy as well. I've been pretty open about it. We actually just put out a little mini documentary about it a couple weeks ago on our, and you can find it on YouTube, on my Facebook, on my school's Facebook, Stout PGH. That did give me some pretty significant challenges, kind of like we were talking about grappling with life, that whole idea.
Yeah, man.
And but yeah, I played a lot of sports growing up. When I was a little kid, I loved baseball. I told my dad when I was 4 years old, I'm going to be a professional pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, because growing up in Michigan, I was really little. And I stuck with baseball until we moved to New York, and then just never got really back into it. When I was 9 years old, kind of bounced around, did like Little League soccer or Little League baseball, tried basketball, didn't like it. After trying basketball, not liking it, I was like, you know what? I need to try out something else. And that week, my gym teacher was like, "Hey, no one tried out for a middle school wrestling team.
Yeah,
we need wrestlers." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to play basketball. I might as well do something in the winter."
Right.
I go up and tell my dad, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna wrestle." And my dad's like, "You realize that those are like the toughest of the toughest people. Like you're not. It's not going to be easy." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." And yeah, I started with it, and didn't win a lot at all early on, but still fell in love with it. And I've been blessed enough and lucky enough to be able to really make it my life. I tell people all the time, managing a jiu-jitsu school, teaching classes, training all the time. When I started in college, my goal was become a high school teacher and a wrestling coach.
Yeah.
So I get to do all the fun part of that without the having to grade papers and discipline kids that don't want to be there, and like all the headaches that teachers have to deal with. Yeah. So I'm really lucky in that sense.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. What a great story. Overcoming some health issues and having to overcome and fight, like you said, grapple with life. You got through some of that. Find wrestling. How long have you been running your academy, your school now?
So I was, again, really lucky. I started training with our head instructor Warren Stout in 2012, and when I was in my first year of grad school, and I about about a year into that, I over spring break, me and a couple other people that we were training with, I think we were all white belts at the time. We're like, oh, we all have spring break at the same time, even though we go to different colleges. Let's go to New York for a week and train at Henzo's in Manhattan. That'll be awesome. I went there, trained 3 times a day for a whole week. And I'm like, dude, this is what I want to do. I don't want to get an MBA, because my goal was at that point, it was like, I'm not going to be a wrestling coach. My goal was get an MBA, then go to law school, then do that whole thing. And I was like, you know what? That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is do jiu-jitsu all the time. I want to fight MMA all the time. I want to do jiu-jitsu full time. And basically I dropped out of grad school after that week. Thought, because I was basically an idiot white belt, didn't really know what I was doing, didn't talk to my instructor about this is what I wanted to do or anything like that. But I was like, oh, well, if I want to run a school someday, I need to learn how to manage gym. So I got myself a job managing like a big box Anytime Fitness gym.
Yeah.
And that was nothing like what I expected. That was like a nightmare. And the guy that hired me, I told him, like, hey, I train jiu-jitsu. I'm driving to Pittsburgh because I was in Steubenville, Ohio at the time. I'm like, this is 45-minute drive. I drive into Pittsburgh. I train like 5 nights a week, and on Saturdays as well. And he's like, and I'm like, I know the schedule that you have set is 11 to 7. Can I work a 9 to 5? Would that work? And he's like, yeah, sure. Well, let's get you started. 2 weeks in, he tells me, yeah, that 9 to 5, that's not going to work. I need to work 11 to 7. I'm like, oh, great. So then a couple more weeks go by. I go from training 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, every evening and Saturday mornings. Then I'm only training Friday nights because that's the half day at the gym I was managing, and Saturday mornings. And Warren, my head instructor, as like any good instructor, if they have like a dedicated student that all of a sudden just like stops coming, they like ask him like, hey, what's going on here? Is everything okay? He asked me, he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, it's this new job I got. The schedule sucks. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm managing a gym. He's like, you're managing a gym? He's like, here, give me your number. I need to call you tomorrow. I'm like, all right, sounds great. He calls me on my lunch break. He's like, hey, I'm getting ready to go full time with our school here. I need to hire a front desk program director that like to run the front desk, like help sign people up, help check people in, help welcome people to the school and everything like that.
Yeah.
Email people, call people, follow up with that. And I'm like, awesome, I'm in. I started like I literally started 11 months after I started jiu-jitsu. I was able to start working, and I was lucky enough that he was able to, like, I mean, I started working full-time right away. I didn't start teaching until I was a blue belt a year later.
Sure.
I started teaching kids classes about 18 months after I started working at the school. And then in 2017, we opened a second location, and I was made full-time manager of our second location. That's now, we originally opened in Cranberry. We outgrew our space in Cranberry in 2020 and moved up to Zelienople, and we're still growing today. It's awesome. We have classes. So now we've expanded. Now we have 3 locations in Pittsburgh. We have our main location in the Strip District that we've been in for almost 14 years or 12 years now.
Nice.
And then we have our location up north in Zelienople, and then we have a location out east in Monroeville as well that's grown and really successful too. So like I said, I'm just really lucky that I'm able to be part of this school, this organization, this team. We have all of our instructors are awesome. Everybody on staff, we have great people with great attitudes, and they're all working hard, and it's showing. I mean, people love it. It's just, it blows my mind how many people are still like finding out about jiu-jitsu and how great it is and how it's changing their lives. Like I've seen I see it all the time. It's funny. I've been doing this professionally for 9 years now. Yeah. And I see it still all the time. Like you'll see somebody sign up and then they come to you 5 months later, like, dude, I lost 40 pounds doing this. I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel so great. I'm like, dude, keep it up. It's going to be great. And it's so awesome. I've seen so many people go from like timid, nervous, scared, unconfident, like unsure of themselves to they are confident, They believe they can do anything. They've accomplished great things outside of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
of jiu-jitsu. So
That's right.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, that what you gain on the mat, confidence wise,
Uh-huh.
various things does contribute to real life,
It really
right?
does.
Every day.
It really does.
Let me ask you this. So, man, what an awesome story. You call it lucky. I think you're walking in your purpose. I think that's what you're designed to do.
Yeah.
Dude, you're doing what you're passionate about every day. That's kind of the path I'm on. I'm on a path of doing what I'm passionate about doing. And so somewhere in the mix of there, man, let's just talk about this. Like, it's kind of funny. I'm sure I got a sneaky suspicion you're going to say the same thing. Someone who started over a year ago, started Twisted Church. People call it a promotion. I'm like, it's not a promotion, man. It's my passion. Like I'm just doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not a promoter. I'm an athlete. Like I train 6 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day. It's just part of my lifestyle. So what I wanted to do is just to do something that would give back to the arts and the athlete, really, the athlete and the art. And so let's talk a little bit about Stout fighting, man. So you start Stout fighting. A lot of my good friends from over this area have fought on your cards. Guys like Sean Foster. And so let's talk a little bit about that, man. Talk about that.
So originally, this it's really cool how it came about. Originally, it started as we were just doing jiu-jitsu or just Muay Thai shows. Okay. And we did, and mostly because there were no Muay Thai shows around here at all. And in Western Pennsylvania, there were some in Kentucky, a lot in Eastern Pennsylvania. There's a really big, really successful, they've been around 20 years. It's called the U.S. Kickboxing Alliance and USKA. They are awesome. They've helped me so much in promoting Muay Thai and showing me the ropes of that. So we did our first show in 2016, and then we try to do a show annually so we can at least keep our fighters active out in this area. Most of our Muay Thai fighters, or Muay Thai specific fighters, they fight out east all the time. They'll fight out of state all the time, but we want to give them at least one show a year that they get to come home and do a Muay Thai fight at home. And we were doing that. We did that 16, 17, 18, 19, or 16, 17, 18. And then right at the end of 2018, we had one of our white belts. He comes to us and he tells us that, hey, I'm a real estate developer and we're working with this hotel. They're looking for kind of like they're looking to do like a physical culture series of events. And they want to do something like what you guys do with Muay Thai, but with jiu-jitsu. And we're like, that's awesome. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Like at that point I'd competed at Fight to Win. I'd seen Fight to Win. And Seth's awesome too. But I saw all that type of thing, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And we put together a show. It was awesome. We were at the venue we use for our jiu-jitsu shows. We've done 3 of our 4 shows there. And it's awesome. It used to be called Ace Hotel. It was sold to another company. Now it's called the Maverick Hotel, but it's done in this renovated old YMCA. So the gym looks just like this old school. It has almost like a Fight Club feel. It's amazing. Yeah. And I've had like Sean Foster, I think, has been at every single one of our shows, and he is one of my favorite people to have on. We've had Sean on. I've had basically like everybody from Columbus, other than Vitor Oliveira. And he's the one I want to get. I want to get Vitor on one of our shows. He's amazing. I love Vitor.
Oh, Vitor's the man.
Vitor's amazing. I've had like everybody from Columbus on, a bunch of people from either further out. Like this year, I finally got a bunch of Dante Leon's guys on. Yeah, and they are monsters. That was awesome. Yeah, it's great. I had actually the guy that got me in contact with you, Ruben Vera. He also did our first show too. Yeah. Ruben's the man, and that's why I'm really bro. Because he was like, Ruben texted me like a couple months ago, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to do a super fight in October?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." I love competing. I've been competing. I was competing like constantly up until the pandemic when kind of everything shut down. But then I've been trying to get back in, and just every time I get momentum going, I've been battling injuries, but now I'm healthy and I'm ready to go and I'm ready to get back to competition. So that's exactly the same thing. Like actually I was just talking with Warren about this tonight. So like the whole thing, like I think anybody that gets into promotion as a money-making venture, you're kind of like like, I don't know what you're trying to do there, dude. Like, it's gonna be hard to do. Like,
Yeah,
you're
right.
lucky. You're lucky if you break even and make
Break
enough.
even,
to, like,
bro.
Like, you're lucky if you make enough to like justify all the time you put in. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
It's like that's basically it. Like, obviously, like you can't have any sort of venture that's running at a loss, or else it won't stick around. But but you're not gonna make a ton of money. And then like I've had people ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you guys should do a show every month." I'm like, I would lose my mind, and the school would fall apart because I got to focus on that. That's the primary driver is our school. If I don't have our school, the promotion doesn't matter. And that's the other thing too. Like, that's why I was excited to compete for you, because you're also a purple belt too, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
awesome.
Sir.
Yeah, because I'm sure you've seen it too. Like, there's like MMA guys that they promote MMA, and they're like, oh, this jiu-jitsu stuff, that'll be easy to promote, and they've never even trained. They don't even know what they're talking about or doing, or maybe they're like, they've been training for 6 weeks and they're a new white belt and they're super fired up about jiu-jitsu, and then they quit after 6 months and they don't want to promote jiu-jitsu anymore. And I've seen that. I know you've seen it too. I've seen a bunch. Like, there's like promotions that come and go, and they're like, oh, this is a lot of hard work. But yeah, I've been so thankful for all the guys out in Columbus and Ohio. They've been super supportive, and that's what we always try. I always try to do that, like not like a rivalry, like not any type of bad blood, but I like doing Ohio versus Pennsylvania matchups, just because like people it's fun, and it's like, and like I don't want I don't want everybody from Ohio coming out here just to go against somebody else from Ohio. Yeah. And two, I don't want the Pittsburgh people. They don't necessarily want to go against another person from Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh on a big show. And I've always tried really hard to make sure that people understand that it's called Stout Fights, but it's not like we're not trying to like make ourselves look good. And in fact, it's funny. I figured I do all the stats after our events. Our school actually has a losing record at our events. I give other people really hard matchups. Yeah, and I do that on purpose because I don't want anybody thinking like I'm like gaming the system or anything like that. Which I'm not. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I love it. It's a blast. We have Sean, one of Warren's instructors, Sean Williams, he's one of my instructors now too, I would say. He's been doing commentary the last couple events with us, and he's amazing. Like I tell people this all the time. I do the commentary with him on our shows. Yeah. I learn more I get better at jiu-jitsu from doing commentary with him. He is that knowledgeable. That's awesome. Unreal. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that, man. I love your attitude about it. That's the same thing with me. I feel like, all it's kind of almost like all ships rise with the tide. Yeah. And I am super focused on, like, for myself, and super focused on the Midwest, East Coast. Like, what you guys is doing are awesome. I just competed last Sunday night on Kumite. Couldn't get the sub. I told everyone, start calling me 0 for 30, because I had 30 subs attempts and I couldn't get any of them. Just call me 0 for 30, bro.
Yeah, I saw he was keeping his elbows. He was keeping his elbows in tight. It was hard to get those Kimuras.
And I felt, but here's the deal. Like, I worked that series, the Kimura, the Hug Kimura, and the Darce series. Like, my game plan was simple. I'm going to put him on his back. I'm going to pass his guard. I'm going to go north-south, and I'm going to finish. And I just
that's a great combo too, because
I was so frustrated.
Both those lead to each other so well. Yeah, I've been getting the last 2 years. I've been getting so much into using a Kimura trap. I use it more so for control even than
absolutely.
Like I'll use it to set up other stuff instead.
Absolutely.
I love Kimura grips.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, Kimura, the Kimura is not just a submission. The Kimura is a position. You turn a quarter of the body into a handle. I can take your back from there. Blah blah blah. Yeah. But like. Yeah, guy was super cool. Like, Jeremy's a stud guy. He had really good defense. I had unpolished mechanics, finishing, and on to the next one. But like I said, like Kumite, what you're doing, I want to be like super supportive of this region, man. Like I want to compete for them. I want them to compete with me. Like,
that's exactly it. Bro. I get people, and I've gotten people all the time asking me if like, oh, you should do a match at Stout Fights. I'm like, no, I'm that week I'm too stressed out, bro. To also think about going and then doing a match against somebody that's trying to break my arm, rip my knee out, like blow my knee out, put me to sleep. I don't want to deal with that. No, I have much more fun competing for like what I'm doing in October, competing for my friends' promotions instead, and then have my friends come and compete on my promotion and stuff like that.
Heck yeah,
works back and forth,
I love it. I love it, dude. So let's talk a little bit about October 22nd.
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching that are trying to figure that out, October 22nd, there at the bottom, there's a ticker, eventbrite.com. If you just search Twisted Church, you can get your tickets. Tickets start at $35 a piece for general admission. $55, those are the bangers, man. Those are the front 2 rows. You're going to be catching bodies,
side.
man. 80cc
right
rule
there,
set.
there.
Man, if you don't want the smoke, don't sit in those seats because these it's a professional Dolomer mat, 30 by 30, tatami finish, beautiful mats. But I'll tell you right now, these guys find their way off the mat in the 80cc rule set. Wrestlers love it.
Rules. I'll take somebody down into the chairs. I don't care.
And we let it continue. We let it continue off the mat until there's a dominant position. So yeah, you can get your tickets there. You can also hit a VIP table. The VIP table is going to seat 8 people. Great night of fights. We have a $10,000 16-man tournament. So 155-pound, 16 men in that, the best in the world fighting for 10 grand and a title belt. And then I don't even like call it an undercard. It is the undercard, but it is a stacked set of super fights in which one of those fights,
matches, it's crazy.
Andy is on there. It's going to be a crazy night. Crown Plaza Hotel in the beautiful ballroom. You can even get a room. Like you can get a hotel room at a 5-star hotel for $99 a night, right? Come stay, have a great time with us. So Andy, let's talk about that, man. You're getting ready for this super fight, man. What's training been like? And
so I've been since accepting the match, basically, like I've just been I never didn't focus on my feet floor. Like that's always been a heavy emphasis, and I think that's a heavy emphasis at our school as well because like I said, my head instructor, Warren Stout, wrestled at Lehigh, 2-time NCAA qualifier, 2-time PIAA state finalist in high school, like really accomplished wrestler before he ever even got into jiu-jitsu. Then my head assistant coach, Mike Wilkins, super tough black belt, like 25 MMA fights, and also wrestled in college. Really great wrestler as well, like super tough on the feet. So all of those two, and then Warren's brother Logan, same thing, super tough Division I wrestler before he ever got into jiu-jitsu. These guys, they make sure we got good feet to floor. So that's been my focus with ADCC. I'm not looking to pull guard. I'm looking to control the head, snap down, get my shots in, blast double, pin his shoulders to the mat so I can secure my takedown because ADCC rules, you have to have the shoulders flat on the mat for the takedown to count.
Yep.
That's really been my focus. And I really like my front headlock series with my guillotine. I've really gotten into Darces over the last 3 years as well. I mean, I've always enjoyed my guillotine, and I've been working really hard at it for the last 10 years. Literally, that was the first submission I got good at, and that was the first thing that I really focused on. But I have a lot, like the big thing outside even getting ready for this match that I've been working on since I've been a purple belt, really. A couple of years ago, Gary Tonin came and did a seminar because his grandparents actually live in the area and live in Western Pennsylvania, so he comes out for holidays a lot. And he's also one of our teammates too. And he comes out and does seminars. And he did a seminar, and I was the uke because Warren was out of town for the holidays. And so I did the seminar with him and got it all set up and make sure he got taken care of and stuff. And then he was like, "Hey, you want to train for a little bit afterwards? Just like kind of like thank you for like setting this up and stuff." I'm like, "Sure," and stuff. And I was asking him a question. I was like, "All right, what?" After we got done training, I was like, "What is the one thing I should be working on?" He's like, "Start getting your attacks like the whole body." Go head to toe, head to their feet. When you're getting their neck and they start to defend their neck, attack their legs, and they're going to get their arms out trying to defend your leg attacks, and you're attacking their neck, and you're going to get arm locks and stuff too. So that's what I've been working on my entire time as purple belt, is multi-directional attacks, so I can attack the entire body. I'll start with the guillotine and go right, and they start defending the guillotine. I'll invert underneath right into Ashi and attack heel hook or vice versa. So
yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. Since you have a match coming up, man, against James. He is from East Coast Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yep. He was on so I hosted a qualifier, national qualifier for Zapatero.
Okay,
and James was on that. He won by heel hook that
nice.
night, so had a good win, and wanted to, I'm one of those dudes, like, if you're riding with me early in this process, man, we gonna ride. Like, I'm gonna be loyal, right?
Yep.
A guy like Nick Creighton. I don't know if you're not familiar with Nick, but Nick Creighton's from Minnesota.
I'm familiar with the name.
Dude, Nick is like, so let me tell you this real quick story, because like Nick's in the 155-pound tournament, right? He's been competing at 170. He said, I'll cut the 55. I'm like,
oh wow,
you're in, bud. Like, because everything Nick says he's gonna do, he's done.
That's
right?
Awesome.
I mean, Nick has still to this day sent me the most epic PayPal. He sent me $100 for my first show ever. Sends $100 for the baddest blue belt tournament, and it says this quote: "Here, hold this for me while I heel hook some fools." And he was, dude, he heel hooked everybody.
That's awesome.
And won $1,000 on the title belt. So I say that because I'm like, all right, man. James, came on a show, he won. I'm like, man, if you want to come back, we'd love to have you. So we, get you guys paired up. 2 great purple belts.
Yep.
One from Ohio, one from, PA. It's awesome, dude. It's gonna be a great showdown.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be a great showdown.
I'm like I said, I'm really looking forward. I'm looking to get back in the competition. It's been too long. I love competing. It's why I do. It's why I started doing this, at least. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
I love it, dude. I love it, man. I'm super glad to have you on too. And one of the things it's like I said, you're running a promotion. People tell me I'm running a promotion. I'm like, no, actually, dude, I'm just having fun. I'm like, hanging out with my friends.
That's really what it
like
is.
throwing a party.
If it wasn't enjoyable, I wouldn't be doing it. Like that's the whole thing. Like I mean, and I tell people, like, I'm so happy I'm doing something I'm passionate about. I love it. I mean, it's still a job. I still got to work, but it's great. If I enjoyed it, like, it's a lot of work, and I wouldn't be doing it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it. I could go do something. Like, there's plenty of other jobs I could go do that.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, it is a lot of work. You're right. I'm like, man, I'm managing right now about 60 athletes, talking to them, emails.
I know. And and to be honest, I'm obviously really excited to compete. I'm almost excited for that 16-man Grand Prix. That thing is stacked. You got some names in that thing. That is like, that's impressive. I'm really looking forward to that. Actually, this was funny when Ruben asked me about that, about doing a match on your show. I thought he meant that. I'm like, dude, I haven't competed in like 2 years, and I'm a purple belt. You really want me to go against like Keith Krikorian and like these type of guys? Like, no, I mean, I'll do it, of course. If you want me to, I'll do it. I'll fight whoever. I don't care. Like, I'll like, if somebody told me they wanted me to, like, if Seth was like, hey Andy, we need somebody for ADCC, I'm like, all right, that's gonna be weird, but sure, I'm in. I'm in. Whatever.
Bring the smoke. Give me the smoke.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. We've talked about Ruben a few times. Ruben's a man, dude. He's become a good friend, and just Queen City Grappling Club down there, man. That's a hammer house down there, and he's done a great job building that. It's got some great athletes as well. He has some guys on the card as well that night. I'm excited. Like, when I look at the roster, I look at the Excel sheet every day, multiple times a day, and dude, honestly, from start to finish, every single fight, I'm like, that's exciting. Like, we have our co-main event that night, and I want to say it. I gotta wait. We're gonna announce it soon. We haven't announced it, but like, I'm excited, bro. It's like 2 high-level black belt females.
Oh, that's
I mean, one from the West Coast, one from the East Coast. It's gonna be a blast, dude. Like, but I'm excited to, like, just even some of the fights that got firmed up today and secured today. I'm like, dude, that's a freaking barn burner, So, and as an athlete, but also as a fan, like, I watch jiu-jitsu every day, right? I'm on Flow. I'm watching everything. I got teammates out there at Master Worlds this week. I'll be watching that. Gi, no gi, man, I don't care. I'm watching jiu-jitsu, and to be able to, like, announce the fights. I do all the pay-per-view for MMA and boxing here in Ohio. I don't do the commentator work for our shows. I like to have fun. I like to announce the fighters. I like to entertain. I like to wear fancy shoes and have fun, That's part of this deal. But then I get to just sit, dude, Matt's side as a fan, and I get to watch high-level athletes get after it. So I'm super pumped for that. But Dude, let me ask you this, man. We're coming about 30 minutes. I know you just got done training and got home. I got done training, got home. One of the things that I like to do, man, is I like to ask everyone this question as we kind of start to wrap up. And, Andy, if you could say anything to anyone out there tonight, jiu-jitsu related, MMA related, Muay Thai related, or just life related, like any person that might see this or see it 6 months from now or 6 years from now, what would be just some like good life advice? Anyone who's grappling with life that you would just leave them with tonight?
Yeah. You know what? Actually, something I was just thinking about, like the idea of like, and this is, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to say this without it sounding like cliche or like just like flippant or anything like that. But like, if like anytime you're going through like a really rough patch in life, like just keep your nose to the grindstone. It will get better. It will get better. Like,
it does.
I mean, you might have to make some changes in your life. There might be maybe like like I tell people that too. Like,
yeah,
sometimes like people that are going through rough patches, like look at the common denominator. Maybe it's
yeah.
you got to fix some things in your life, but it will get better if you keep working at it. If you just sit there and say, "Oh, woe is me," and nothing's ever going to change, well, yeah, then probably nothing's ever going to change.
Yeah,
but and I think it's the same. I think it's the same thing with training in jiu-jitsu. Like if you're going through a rough patch, like I'm sure you had that. Everybody that's gotten to the point of a purple belt, they went through that blue belt blue phase where they felt like they were getting worse. You just gotta keep at it and keep working at it. And like and don't avoid the hard rounds, like that's gonna make you better, but yeah, that's
good word.
I'd say that's what I would be able to say that I think that relates to everything, not just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's that mentality. And if you look at it from jiu-jitsu, it's that mentality. I tell people all the time, just keep walking the door. You want to know the secret to being good at this? Keep walking through the door.
Walking through the door.
And it's funny because, like, for example, training at night now, there's a ton, there's so many white belts that my professor, Dave Freitag, has to split the gym. He puts the colored belts in the back and he has to keep the white. There's so many white belts.
Yep.
But dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, when I roll with those white belts, it's wild. Some of them are like, you know what I love about rolling with, say, a white belt that's 9 months or less? They're wild, bro. It's like being in a real fight. Like bro, they're using every bit of strength, fiber, aggression. They're pissed off at their grandma still from middle school. Like they are coming, bro. I messed up on Monday night. I started like, dude, just rolling. And then this dude's like outweighs me by like 30 pounds. And he was on me, bro. And I literally, God's honest truth, for the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I literally had to turn it all the way up to 10 and use every bit of my jiu-jitsu to submit him multiple times. And if I didn't do that, he was gonna kill me,
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the best advice I give for at least blue and purple belts. If you're almost a new spazzy white belt, don't play around with them. Use your A game. Use your A game and make sure they understand that there's levels to this, because what's going to happen is if you don't, they're gonna get like this like false sense of ego that they're like way better than they are, and like, no, you're not better than you are. You just like, kicked me in the face, so I was chilling. Like, I didn't let you pass my guard. You like kneed me in the face trying to do a knee cut pass. Like that's what happened, buddy.
Yeah.
So what I do, like I tell people this all the time. What I do if I'm going with a spazzy white belt, I have one goal. I'm going to get to your back and strangle you repeatedly. To keep myself in the safest spot possible and keep you in the most dangerous spot possible.
Yeah. And it's funny. I was telling one of the guys tonight, I said, when I roll with high level blue, purple, brown belts, the rolls are slower. They're more methodical. They're technical. Like we're playing a game. But I like going and rolling with the white belts because they're like, I'm gonna kill you now. So get you. It's good. But
anybody that gets into jiu-jitsu says they're getting into it for self-defense. You almost want to keep rolling with white belts because that's going to be what it's going to be like if you're ever in a self-defense situation. It's just be a maniac just trying to kill you.
Yeah. It's funny because I was telling some of the guys, like some of those white belts that are a little bit, they've been there for about a year now. I remember it's like when I talk to them, I'm like, bro, I remember saying the same thing. I remember feeling like that. Like, I'm never going to get this. And I promise you, before you know it, if you just keep walking through the door, because like literally word for word, verbatim, I remember saying what they're saying. And I'm like, bro, listen, before you know it, if you keep walking through the door, dude, you're going to be inverting, you're going to be paraboloing, you're going to be hip levering, you're going to be doing
Yep.
stuff that you thought you could never do.
Yep.
And even though it seems foreign to you now, a year in, I promise you, at year 18 months, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, you're going to just, I don't even know. It's like someday it just clicks.
Yeah. It's
Like you're like,
speaking a
oh,
different language.
I get it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, well, thank you so much for spending some
thank
time.
you. Absolutely.
Man, what a great month of grappling. We got Master Worlds this week. Then we're the ADCC
in a couple weeks.
And then yeah.
It's gonna be great.
The week after ADCC, Ruben Vera is holding that qualifier for the
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then man, yeah, we're less than 2 months out, dude. I'll see you in Columbus. And
I'll see you in Columbus. Thanks for having me on.
It'll be good. Hey, thank you so much, brother. I can't wait to talk some more.
All right, thank you so much.
See you, bro. Peace. Hey, for those of you watching tonight, thank you for joining another episode. Catch it live, catch it later. We're just trying to inspire people, man, with life stories and encounters on and off the mat. Everyone's grappling with life. Whatever you're grappling with, man, just keep walking through the door. That's the mentality. Get up every day. Keep giving your best. It does get better, I promise. Don't be quitting on yourself or quitting on others. Keep grinding, man. Keep grappling with life. Let's go.